Hey there, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
Hey, this rock star, Todd Miechiels, we caught him resting because he needs to rest. And in fact, he needed to rest so much, the Lord just said, rest. Todd, how are you?
Good. My wife would wholeheartedly disagree that I'm to rest. I had a weekend full of honeydew.
Did you?
And I'm like, I'm feeling just glad I got to rest.
And she said, no.
You know, that's why most of us don't want to be at work at home with our wives because the list continues. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm looking
does.
forward to getting back to the 8th floor with Dan so I can take naps again.
My honeydew list for you is much shorter than Donna's, right?
Todd Miechiels, the 315 Project, and he does so much. I love, Todd, what you're doing with reading the scripture, the videos, the short videos, and doing some worship. We'll talk about that in just a few and see what's going on with your videoing testimonies, how you doing that with us being socially isolated. But first, how you guys feeling? Everybody healthy?
Yeah, thank God everybody is healthy, and we are honoring the what they call it, the self-sheltering.
Isolation, sheltering, all that good
My
stuff.
wife's a physician assistant. She'll have none of this, she's not going to let us go out there and put people at risk. So we're blessed to have her.
Wow. Now, how's she doing? Now, she's seeing patients like daily or what?
No, again, thank God. She's been a physician assistant for 25 years, but
Wow.
she's recently made a switch to help patients through the pharmaceutical industry by helping them navigate the system to get the drugs that they need. So she's been able to work at home.
So she's got everybody asking her for the hydroxychloroquine or whatever the drug is, right?
No,
No.
She does one thing, and it has to do with gout.
Oh, okay. So nothing to do with this whole thing.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Hey, that is awesome. Blessings on your wife for doing that. I'm sure that's some job title or something, but you know what? People really need that.
Yeah.
They need somebody to help them navigate through because you want to give up, honestly. I mean, having a special needs kid and us going through our own medical things and trying to get medicines and waivers and this and that is just like, Calgon, take me away. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into what's going on with you now. Now, what are you doing? Are you able to video testimonies via maybe Zoom, or what are you doing with that, with the project?
It's the way that this whole coronavirus thing came. It came at a really interesting time for our ministry because we were already in the process of taking practically a year off from videotaping stories, which we've been calling the harvesting part of the ministry, and really entering into a year of planting the idea amongst people's hearts of like, you have a story and we could help you know it wholeheartedly. So we have a Steps of Courage, it's called. It's a series of classes, and we were doing them at churches through Sunday school classes, and then when they went virtual, all of a sudden it was like a red carpet for us. Now we've got online classes with churches, and what's really cool about it, where if we did one class, say on a Wednesday night at First Baptist Cumming, there might be 6 to 12 people. I can do one now on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. We have people from all over the country that can come and sit on this thing. So it's been a huge blessing for us.
Very cool. And also you've been staying busy by posting some worship and some other things like that. What else have you been doing?
Man, I've been doing exercises with my 3 high school boys. When the virus situation first happened, I really felt like a lot of people, like I need to hunker down and figure out what we're going to do with our business. And my high school boys were out there working out every day at 3 p.m. Like clockwork. And I'm like, what an awesome season to get to spend time with them. My college freshman's home. It's like, I don't want to miss those opportunities. So I'm really kind of double and triple dipping on the benefits of,
so you're doing exercise videos. Sweet. I can have a workout.
You do not want to see me, especially jumping rope. You don't want to see that.
Okay. All right.
Look out, Richard Simmons and Jane Fonda, because Todd Miechiels is back in town. Hey, on Zoom and on the radio, Todd Miechiels, one of our favorite guests. So Todd, we're in this and things have adjusted. I'm so glad that you guys are able to take advantage of streaming, doing video to do what you do. What gave you the idea for doing the worship songs you've been doing? Now we know that you're a musician, kind of a singer-songwriter, but what gave you that idea? And then also that those reads, they're like, they're perfect. They're what, like a little over a minute or something?
Yeah, I'm extroverted in the sense that I like to connect with people, but I'm also very introverted in that I get very introspective and reflective, and I can find myself isolating a lot. And so I was, just kind of thinking, hey, maybe this could be a chance for me to demonstrate that even when you don't feel like worshiping, maybe when you don't feel particularly positive or optimistic, that could be the best time to reflect on what God's done for you. And I remember when I got saved back at 35, about 15 years ago, I hadn't touched a musical instrument in 10 years when my oldest kid was born. And I remember praying, God, would you give me opportunities to use the gifts you've given me in ways that would honor you? And that was like 15 years ago. So it's kind of like, be careful what you pray for. And it was just something that I felt, I felt the sense of worship doing it, and then to some degree obedience, and it seems to have encouraged some folks. It's also brought me back in contact with a lot of my friends from high school, through Facebook that I didn't know, and to some extent still don't know where they're at with their walk. So I'm hoping it's going to create some conversations and some opportunities there.
That's so good.
That's very cool. And so not only those great ideas, apparently God has also laid on your heart that Rick and I should do some sort of sock puppet ministry. Tell us about that. We were talking about that before we started the show. How did that come about?
Well, I was seeing you guys on Zoom, and you guys are, characters, of course, as anyone that known you or listened to you.
We are?
And then, yeah, you're caricatures of
Yes, we are.
each other. And I don't know, I saw Dan sitting here with the fancy Zoom background with the palm trees, and I'm like, these guys could totally improvise some cool sock puppet shows on some various backgrounds, and I'm hoping that you guys will lean into that.
I like
calling.
that.
Yeah.
There's not even a sock there, but it looks like a puppet. I love it.
That's my puppet, Carl COVID.
Carl COVID. Cough for me, Mr. COVID.
I'm sure that's offending someone somewhere, but no, that's interesting. Todd Miechiels here on the show. So Todd, let's talk about this. Through this whole thing, it looks like you're doing very well. You're doing what God is wanting you to do in this season. You do need to continue to rest, because on the other side of this, I think you're going to be very, very busy. So you kind of need to build up your muscle in that sense. But what is God saying, you think, about the church in this time and on the other side of it? What have you heard?
Boy, that's a great question. Romans 8:28 always comes to mind, into my heart. He's working all things for his good. Passages from the Old Testament, like, will my people turn their faces towards me? And I'm just getting the sense that anything that the Father would have to do to get our attention, the attention of his children to turn towards him, pay attention to him, would seem like the nature of the God that I know and believe in.
Yeah, and he's definitely doing that, where it's this is a time where you have to stop, and because our lives have gotten so just hectic and crazy and full of technology, and we're being forced to stop and chill and be still, and this is unusual and uncomfortable for a lot of us.
Very, very.
Hey, listen, let's do this. We got to take a break. If we're still in this, I was going to say in this condition, but if we're still socially isolated, we'll catch up with you again. I want you to do some tunes for us. We've been begging you for years to pull out the guitar and to sing. So next time, it's just going to be all Todd Miechiels all the time. Okay? So promise you'll do that, will you?
If you guys will be the sing-along sock puppets, you got to do
We will. And you bring the jump rope, too, because we want to do
I got to see that. We got to see that. Hey, follow Todd on Facebook, and you'll see the stuff that he's doing, both musically and also the stuff with him just ministering the scripture. It's really, really cool. And then also with those classes he was talking about. Hey, we'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.